How about networking? As part of your research, like to do some, do you advocate like informational interviews with people to find out what they do and to kind of see what's coming up?
Absolutely. That is an important part as well, and that also factors into one of my other points, which is about attending different conferences and seminars and webinars, because you'll meet those experts in the field at those events as well and can spend more quality time with them. Although I think it's really important to make sure that before you go up and you ask someone a question, that you're going to ask them a reasonably intelligent question. I know some people say there are no stupid questions, but actually there are a few out there.
What is this green thing?
Or I've seen some people go up to a venture capitalist, for example, and ask them, I'm looking for a job in the green sector. What would you suggest? And you can just almost see that person, the venture capitalist, turned off at that point in time. I wasn't asked a really serious, targeted question. They're fishing. They don't really know what they want yet. Whereas if you would go there and say, I'm torn. Should I pursue a career in energy storage for the home market, or do you think that there's going to be more movement in the next couple of years for car batteries, for electric vehicles? That's a much different type of question to ask a venture capitalist or anyone who's an expert in a particular field.
So it sounds like it's at least a two-stage process. You do your homework with with books, with like you say, webinars and all this stuff where you're not exposing your ignorance just yet. At least get your story down a little bit and figure out, I'm asking this person a question that I couldn't just look up.
Right. Exactly.
Is that what it seems like?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Oh, here we go. Learn the jargon, players, organizations, and technology standards. I know one way they can learn the jargon.
Yes. And
go ahead. And,
well, the smart grid is chock full of jargon because it's not just one particular technology or sector. It encompasses power generation, it encompasses transmission, it encompasses distribution, and then finally down to storage and consumption. So every one of those fields has their own jargon, their own acronyms, and their own technical terms. So really being able to create your own little cheat sheet list of, this is an acronym I came across in this article. I'm going to jot it down, and I'm going to write down what the definition of that is right away. And maybe if it wasn't properly explained here, I'll just look on the internet and see if I can find any other sources for it.
If I remember correctly, off camera, you told me that's how you started the book.
That's exactly how I started the book.
Hey, what the hell is that? To write this thing down, or what is it, you know?
Yes, the book really started as my own research to satisfy my own curiosity and to build my own knowledge about the smart grid sector.
Yep, okay. You say attend, we touched on this, maybe you can expand a little more, attend industry conferences, webinars, and seminars.
And the internet, again, is a perfect place to start your research process there, too, because all you really need to do is type in a couple of words into your favorite search engine, and you'll start seeing things pop up. And test a few different search terms, and you'll see the same industry conferences and pop up. And depending on where you live, you may have very active organizations that are really sponsoring different technologies and trying to encourage education. If you live near a university or a school, there's probably going to be some opportunities for some seminars or webinars there as well. Some of them cost a nominal fee, others are free, and at the beginning take advantage of everything you can in order to just be an omnivore about information and build your knowledge that way.
Okay. You say also to volunteer with organizations affiliated with your target business sector.
And that really segues in very nicely from the previous point, because sometimes if you volunteer for these different seminars and industry conferences, you can get in free. I did that at one...
Right. Work the conference,
exactly.
Right?
I did that at one conference that was really pricey. It was, I think, $1,500 for, for one person to attend. And what I did is I volunteered to work in the press room and got in free. Now, it meant that I spent a lot of my time trapped in the press room, but that turned out to be one of the best places to be, since the press was there. All the people, the movers and shakers in the smart grid industry, wanted to talk to them. They came to that room. So it worked out perfectly for me.
Yeah, actually that's one of the things I advocate with my clients, is just to volunteer for professional associations. If you can be on the speaker committee, where you have a reason to call people and invite them to come speak at your organization, then you get known and you get some testimonials occasionally. Hey, she's really great to work with. And
right, and one more point about the networking is that you're meeting these people that are in the industry. You are going to start being able to make contacts with them, and those contacts can of course lead you to other avenues of both information and potentially jobs.
Yeah, I always advocate for my clients to say, who else should I speak with? What other events should I attend? And what should I be reading?
Great questions to ask.
Yeah. And you say use tools like LinkedIn to find groups in your target business sector and join them.
Yes. You know, LinkedIn is kind of like my GPS device in my car. I don't know how I lived without it. And I would fight anyone who tried to take it away from me at this point in time. I think LinkedIn is a fabulous tool, and no, they are not paying me to say this. But I use it every day. And it's a great way for me to update the people that are in my world on what I'm doing. And for example, I mentioned that I was going to be interviewing for this show. So I know I'll be getting some feedback about that and comments from the people that are watching my page. And it's also a very interesting way for you to start finding groups and associations that you want to join that are within LinkedIn. So for example, if there is an industry expert that I come across in my different seminars and webinars, I'll look them up on LinkedIn and see what professional organizations and groups they belong to, and then see if I can join some of those too. Because that's another way where once you belong to one of those LinkedIn groups, then you can see the jobs that are posted there. And there are jobs that are posted on LinkedIn that you'll never see anywhere else. But you've got to be a member of that group to have access to it.
The other thing about LinkedIn is, from a coaching perspective, it's amazing because you can get testimonials. You can have all your references say, hey, she's fantastic, or whatever it is. And they're seeing it as a marketing tool. They're seeing that up front, not in the second or third round of the interview.
Right.
You know, so it's, I mean, I think, they're not paying me either. So let's define smart grid and the reasons you focused on it for your career transition. Well, now we've given them advice. Define it and tell us why you picked it.
Well, the simplest and most concise definition is to simply say that it is a bidirectional network of communications and electricity. If you want to expand it out a little bit more, then you talk about the fact that a smart grid is going to really improve the reliability, the security, and the effectiveness or the efficiency of the operations of the electrical system. And it will do that in in all areas: generation, transmission, distribution, and storage. So it incorporates both hardware and software, and it covers not only from the point where you've got hydro hitting a turbine, but all the way down to when you flick on the light switch. That's what the smart grid entails.
Wow, okay. And what attracted you? What is it about the field that interested you for making the career transition you made?
Well, there's several reasons. First is it's a very high growth area. It's in the news almost every day. There's a lot of stimulus money that's going towards a smart grid, and it's got a lot of people excited. Secondly, it has real interest in the fact that existing technologies can be used in new ways, and there are new technologies that are going to be applied to existing processes and systems to improve them. And that creates a very interesting mix that brings in new people into an existing sector, which, you know, admittedly has been kind of stodgy in the past and kind of set in its ways and didn't really have a need for a great deal of innovation. Well, that's all about to change, and change very dramatically. And then, of course, the smart grid really does promise a greener future for all of us. And it will change the way we look at electricity. And I find it very exciting to be involved in something that's going to be so transformative.